Now let's look into the user interface, the UI folder, which holds the program.cs class. And the program.cs class holds the main method, which is the entry point of our application. So now let's see what happens here. In the program.cs class, we are using system.collections.generic, using system.net, using GPA calculator.entities, data store, services, and helpers. You see, we are using practically everything here because this holds the main method and it's the entry point for our application. So the namespace is GPA calculator.ui and it's public class program, open curly brackets, public static void main string square brackets args. This is the syntax to write the main method. So now inside the main method we need to create an instance of the course service and an instance of the student service. So course service equals to new course service, student service equals to new student service, and we also need to create an instance of our data is equals to new data. So now in order to create the user interface for our application, we need to create this property here called choice. As we go further, I would show you how this property, this string choice, which was created here and assigned a value as an empty string is being used. So we are using a do while loop here to create the user interface. Do this while the choice is equal to y, or rather while the choice is not equal to y, and y in this case stands for yes, n stands for no. Let's see what happens in here first before we get down there. Console.writeLine, type course code and press enter. So this one prompts the user to type the course code and press enter. Then string course code is equals to console.readLine. This line now reads what the user types. Then next, console.writeLine, type course unit and press enter. This prompts the user to enter the course unit and press enter. Then string course unit equals console.readLine. This reads the input of the user. Once again, console.writeLine, type course score and press enter. This prompts the user to enter the course score. Then string course score equals console.readLine reads the user input. Then once we've gotten the course code, the course unit, and the course score, we are now going to use the course score, the course code, and the course unit to create a course. That we are just going to do course equals to course service dot create course, because the create course is inside the course service. Course equals to course service dot create course. Then we use these parameters, the course score, course code, and course unit that we got from the user input to create the course. So once we've created the course, we are now going to add the course to our data.courses.add course, this course that you've just created. So once that is done, we're going to have another console.writeLine, calculate GPA with a question mark. That is asking the user, do you want to calculate the GPA after inputting just one course? Y for yes and N for no. So the choice now is equal to console.readLine dot to upper. Remember that the string named choice was assigned a value of an empty string here, but inside this do while loop, the string course is going to be the value, the the letter that is selected, Y for yes and N for no. That is console.readLine. They're going to read the user choice, which could be Y or N. And this dot to upper here ensures that even if a user should impute small letter n or small letter y, is going to change it to an uppercase letter to ensure that it works perfectly even if the user imputes it in the wrong way. So that's that. Then all these are going to happen while the choice is not yes. Because if the choice is yes, the GPA would be calculated. But if it's not yes, you will be able to impute another course code, another course unit, another course score, create another course. And you can do that for any number of courses that you choose to do. So now, once this is done, or if the choice is yes, you are going to calculate the student total using this line. Students equals to student service dot calculate student total, and the method parameter for this is the data.courses, which are the courses that have been added to our data.courses, which are the courses that have been imputed in the user input. So once y is imputed, the student's service class is going to calculate student total through this line here. And once that is done, the utility class is going to print the course table using the data.courses that we have provided. And once you are done with that, you'll be able to console.writeLine. The total course unit registered is let's look at this. The total course unit registered is student.total course unit. This is gotten from the students' totals that were calculated. Then you have a new line. Total course unit passed is this is also gotten from the students' scores that were calculated. The total weight points is also gotten from the students' totals that were calculated. And the GPA is also gotten from the student totals that were calculated. And the reason why we are displaying all these results like this is because that's what was okay. I don't have the file open, but that's what was required from the task. So now let's run the app to see how it works. Click on run on the play button there. Okay, now the app has started, the console application. We are asked to type course code and press enter. So let's say CVE 501. I studied civil engineering. That's why I'm writing CVE, don't mind me. Type course unit and press enter. Let's say the course unit of that course is 3. Enter. Type course score and press enter. Let's say I scored 87. Enter. Calculate GPA, Y for yes, N for no. Let's say no. N. Enter. Type course code and press enter for another course. Let's say CVE 502. Press enter. Let's say the course unit for that course is 2. Enter. Let's say I scored 67 in that course. Enter. Calculate GPA. Let's say no. Type course code and press enter. Let's say CVE 503. Enter. Type course unit and press enter. Let's say the course unit is 4. Enter. Type course score and press enter. Let's say the course score is let's say I scored 44 in that course. Enter. Calculate GPA, let's say no. Type course code and press enter, let's say CVE 504. Enter. Type course unit, let's say it's 1. Enter. Type course score, let's say I scored 57 in that course. Enter. Calculate GPA, let's still say no. Type course code and press enter, let's say CVE 505. Enter. Type course unit and press enter, let's say it's 3. Enter. Course score, let's say I scored 25. Enter. Calculate GPA, now let's say Y for yes. Enter. The table has been printed on the console. We have a column for course code, course unit, grade unit, weight point, and remark. And we have for the remarks, excellent, very good, pass, good, fail. And we have the total course unit registered is 13, and the total course unit passed is 10. The total weight point is 30, and your GPA is 2.307. That should be 2.31 to 2 decimal places. There has to be an issue with the code formatting for the GPA, so we're going to fix that. So that is that for the results. So now let's do a quick recap of all we've done in this task. Let me close this. So for this task, firstly, you are going to know your entities, and you can look at the entities as the nouns related to this project. What do I mean? The nouns, that is the course, the grade, and the student. They are the noun words that relate to this project. So you can see we have a class for the course, the grade, and the student. These form the entities for the project. Then inside the same entities folders, we had our enum. And remember, our enum was used, like an enum is used when you have a set of options that you can pick from. In this case, we used it for our A, B, C, D to F. Then apart from your entities, you then have your data store, the data.cs class. This data store is going to create a list of courses, and this list now is going to be holding your courses. Then we are going to have the services. These services now, they hold the methods, the method that will implement actions that relate to your entities. So in this case now, we have the course service, we had the grading service, and we had the student service. Then apart from the services, we have the helpers. Like I said earlier, the helpers is where you include helping code. As the name implies, helpers. This is where you would include code that will help you to perform some specific activities or some specific task in your code. In this case, the helpers, which is the utility class, helps us to print the table, like we've discussed earlier. Then apart from the helpers, you now have your UI. The UI holds your program.cs, and it's an entry point to the application. It is where you create the user interface of the console application. And let me make one point. This way of arranging your code is just the best practice when writing code. You could do all of this in one folder or in one class and everything would work fine, but when you arrange your code like this, it is more readable and less complicated, and you are actually able to do your work efficiently. So this is just the best practice I choose to share with you. It's what I've been learning, it's what I've been using, so you can take something a thing or two from it. So I am glad to say that we've come to the end of the week 1 of this C# course, and I hope to see you in week 2. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you found this video helpful.